Salute to the family. Salute to the team. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. While you guys coming on in, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Salute to the family. Salute to the team. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. While you guys coming on in, make sure you guys smash that like button. Smash that like button. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Let's go. Salute to the family. Salute to the team. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Thank you guys for joining me on this evening. So before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I got to shout out to the family that's in the room. Shout out to the Truth. Shout out to the lovely The Tory Experience. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Darlin in the building. Shout out to what they say, D Mom in the building. Sandra, Dr. J in the building. Paula in the building. Hodges in the building. Monica Talks in the building. Davis in the building. Nicole in the building. Ryder in the building. Yolanda in the building. Ray Ray in the building. DC Fly in the building. Wanda in the building. Brittany in the building. Buttercups in the building. God Truth in the building. Sylvia in the building. Diva in the building. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. While you guys coming on in, make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell, because I see YouTube is, I don't know what they doing or what they got going on. They is not notifying the family when your boy's going live. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this propaganda. I don't know. But we still have to keep working. We still have to put belt to ass. We still have to speak truth to power, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. So, guys, I told you, I'm coming for everybody that was very loud and vocal about Karmelo Anthony during the trial, right? All the mainstream media was blasting videos, degrading Karmelo Anthony, trying to paint this false narratives around his character, around the family character, their attentions with the GoFundMe money, right? Your white mainstream media, your white content creators. And ever since that affidavit dropped, everybody went radio silent. Not one video has been made to address the lies that was made on their platform. Your Fox News, I showed you guys on Fox News. I went to their YouTube channel. They made over 50 videos about Karmelo Anthony, lying on him. Not one video about Nolan Wells, by the way, because, you know, that don't fit their narrative. They have to paint black people out to be the boogeyman. So they can't talk about Nolan Wells, especially if white people are the suspects. But they made over 50 videos, invited Hunter on the podcast, invited Megyn on the podcast, invited Jeff on the show, and allowed them to lie on their platform. And ever since the truth finally came out about those boys, when the truth finally came out about Jeff Metcalf and his anti-black racism, silence, no videos. Megyn Kelly, last video about Karmelo Anthony was disrespecting the mother, lying about those twins. And she haven't made not one video about Nolan Wells. So I see a lot of people out here talking about Nancy Grace made a video talking about Nolan Wells. I don't care. Whoop-de-doo. That doesn't mean nothing to me. I don't care nothing about that demon, about that racist making a video about Nolan Wells. Because what she did to Karmelo Anthony outweighs any of the bullshit that she's spewing on her platform right now, talking about Nolan Wells. How you go from lying on Karmelo Anthony, bringing Jeff Metcalf on your platform, lying on the family, and when the facts come out, you don't make no video to address all the lies that you spread on your platform, Nancy Grace, but you want to come out and make a video about Nolan Wells. So skip the facts that's out about the Karmelo Anthony case. Everybody just want to act like that don't even exist, family. These people acting like this don't even exist. But let's just move on to the next. Let's just act like we didn't say what we said about Karmelo Anthony. All those lies. All of those false narratives. But Nancy Grace gonna get on her platform and do a video about Nolan Wells, when she made countless videos about Karmelo Anthony. She was one of the first creators to make a video on Karmelo Anthony. Then she came back and made about 3 more, and then brought Jeff Metcalf on her platform to promote his GoFundMe. But everybody, oh, Nancy Grace is on the case, on the Nolan Wells case. I don't give a damn. She's a racist piece of shit. But the lies stop today. Megyn Kelly, you are my first victim of today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this evening. Shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being with me on this evening, because I really want you guys to really take this in, what I am telling you guys. These people was very loud about Karmelo Anthony. These people was very vocal. Megyn Kelly was very vocal. She made about 30 videos of Karmelo Anthony. Live streams. This video that I'm about to show you guys of Megyn Kelly, family. This video right here was a month ago. 744,000 views. This woman made so much money lying on our brother Karmelo Anthony's name, and she still got these videos up. Even after the affidavit had dropped and it disproved their false narratives and their lies. But they gonna keep it up because they are monetizing. They making money off the lies. Their audience is a bunch of low IQ Neanderthals that got so much black fatigue, but on every platform listening to people talk about black people. But it's okay, Megyn Kelly. I am going to address you on this evening, and we gonna slow cook you piece by piece, because I haven't forgot. Everybody else can act like they forgot. I ain't forgot. I haven't forgot about those lies that y'all said about Karmelo Anthony. I'm going to keep my brother's name alive. I want to bring this on my platform so Benjamin Crump them can have an archive of all the people he need to go out of for a lawsuit for slander and lies. These people are demonic, evil individuals, family. And today, it's time. Salute to the family. Salute to the team. Thank you guys for joining me on this evening. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to y'all. But this is disgusting, family. This video right here is very disgusting of this woman. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's get into the content, family.
Thing that we've been wanting to do as this case is unfolded, and the parents of Karmelo Anthony have come out and tried to spin a narrative. A little fact check is in order, because
it's coming.
The other reporters refuse to do their jobs. They get these parents in front of them, Karmelo Anthony's, and they allow them to spew lies about the Metcalf family or this case. And there's no challenge because no one will do any homework. She said nobody is going to do any homework. She's going to fact check the lies about the Metcalf family. We is about to see how this is going to work out for you, Megyn. This is going to be a bumpy ride for you on this evening. Buckle up. No one does their homework, and they just want to allow them to spin this narrative, and it's bullshit. So we're not going to do that here. We are going to correct the record.
We show lives.
So that you know what's real and what's not.
Yep, show lives.
We played a few clips yesterday, but we're gonna play a few more today. All right. Now, it began with the parents of Karmelo Anthony, the murderer, their description of the aftermath of the murder, where they claim that Hunter Metcalf, the surviving twin, is lying about his twin brother, Austin Metcalf, dying in his arms. We played this yesterday from an interview with the Breakfast Club's Mimi Brown, but here it is again. Watch.
Did Karmelo want to get his story out more to the public as well?
He was trying to listen. He was trying to listen to what he was being advised. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, don't make it about race. Don't do this. Don't do this. So we like, all right, we'll go again. We we played the game they wanted. We did everything a law abiding citizen supposed to. They told us don't do this. We did everything we supposed to. And he wanted people, of course he wanted somebody. They got pictures of him being 17 with a dress on, saying he could be raped in jail. Like all kind of these adults are talking about this child, but nobody's seeing it. So we can't say anything. The other family, they go paint this lie that nobody still have exposed, that he died in his brother's arms. And it was all
That's not true, because that is a narrative. Yeah.
No, you never heard it no more. That was a lie.
Neither of those parents was actually there at the track meet.
You weren't there
and
neither.
Karmelo's mom, Kayla Hayes, who you saw there, said she had been planning to go to the track meet, but decided not to because of the weather. So she wasn't there. We know that for a fact.
You wasn't there. We know that for a fact.
Hunter was there. He's been 100% consistent in describing what happened.
Oh,
Here
really?
he is with Fox's Will Kane the day after the murder.
I stepped over there, asked him to move, got aggressive, he grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him running down the bleachers, grabbing his chest.
He whipped his head around.
Just blood rushing out. He said, he got stabbed. First I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there.
This fucking liar.
I grabbed him. I see.
Yeah, she had to stop him because he was lying.
You can picture what
She had to stop him because he was fucking lying.
Blood was coming out of his chest, and y'all can visualize this. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, to try to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked in his eyes.
He fucking lying. That fake ass crying she doing.
I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
Look at that. Look at her. Then Megyn, I'm glad you played that video because you said that Hunter was being very consistent with his stories. I'm glad you played that, Megyn. Thank you so much for addressing it. Now let me play my version of this, right? Because this guy is a fucking liar.
I grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab.
Police say Metcalf then went to move Anthony from under the tent.
Mm-hmm. We just found a little altercation. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that, or a loss, but he's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what.
He always had my back, even if I was in the wrong. I just wanted to play that one real quick, right? I just want to throw that out there so Megyn Kelly can catch it, right? He always have my back, even when I'm in the wrong. But let's see two different interviews that Hunter had, and let's see do the stories line up, Megyn Kelly, because you said that his stories has been consistent. You said this on your platform with millions of people. Let's check that.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. Okay. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack.
Austin grabbed his backpack. Let's keep going.
This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab.
He didn't see the stab.
And I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
fucking liar.
That's just what I saw. And
this guy right here, bro.
I mean, I tried to help him, but
you didn't help him.
It was just senseless.
You didn't help him. You the reason why your brother not
really
here.
Really,
you the reason why he's not here, Hunter.
Do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like,
it's so crazy how you could just walk up to somebody and put your hands on them, start bullying them. That's the type of world that you live in, sir, that you feel like that you can walk up to somebody, put your hands on them, expecting that somebody's finna put up their deuce and fight you in return. No, Karmelo Anthony had a different outcome for your brother, Austin.
That man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time.
Fuck his family.
He did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
That's his.
And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school, and we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life, never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always.
Yeah, bro, just you're lying. You lying. Megyn Kelly, that's another lie. We just fact check on you. He wasn't consistent on none of his stories. But that's not only the reason why the prosecution didn't bring Hunter to the stand to testify on his brother's behalf, because he was right there next to Hunter when he was falling down the bleachers, dying. He was right there, right, holding his brother up, trying to save his life, which is a lie. But we gonna get into it. Get them lights up, family. Let's get it. Look at that moment. Look at her.
I saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too. He tried to save his twin brother. He couldn't. Described holding him.
He could have saved his brother if they would have minded their fucking business. Austin could have been here, Megyn. Hunter could have saved him. He could have been like, hey, bro, just leave Karmelo alone. Let's just sit down and mind our business and enjoy the track meet. But they didn't, because they are violent, demonic predators. And I'm about to expose it in this live stream, Megyn. Let's get it.
How dare this family go out there and try to question his account as a lie? They know nothing. They know absolutely nothing.
You don't know nothing.
Hunter was not asked to take the witness stand during the course of the trial. But the testimony given did back up his version of events. The prosecution's fifth witness in the case was Joshua Redmond, an Army veteran and defensive coordinator at Liberty High School. Redmond testified that he noticed the commotion and he ran to the scene after Karmelo stabbed Austin. According to NBC5 in Dallas, Redmond had to move Hunter away from Austin's body, and that Hunter was, quote, freaking out, move him away so that they could give him medical care.
Because it was his fault.
After seeing Austin's wounds, Redmond testified, quote, I knew he was gone. Now look at what Karmelo's dad told CBS's Jonah Kaplan about the jury.
Take us inside that courtroom. What stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
Okay, this is totally false. First of all, the truth was never on their side, ever.
Yes, it is.
The truth is his son murdered somebody in cold blood for no reason. That's going to land everyone in jail for decades minimum. This kid got off easy with a 35-year sentence. Easy.
Yeah, and Austin got a death sentence. So Karmelo still got a fighting chance for his life. He got an appeal in motion. We filed a motion for a retrial. We got an independent judge that's looking at the case right now. He still has a fighting chance for his life. But I can't say the same about Austin, because Austin chose and he worked hard to be dead and to be maggot food, Megyn Kelly. Yeah, your people. He's dead and gone because he couldn't mind his fucking business.
He easily could have been put away for life. I was just listening to a case in Nebraska. If you commit a murder, you go away for life, period. That's it. That's the penalty you get in Nebraska. You take somebody's life in a murder, you're going away for life. A life for a life. That's how it works. He is so lucky that he got only 35 years and could be eligible for parole in 17. He could get out of jail at age 34 with time served. I mean, you got your whole life ahead of you, which is more than we can say for poor Austin Metcalf.
Yep, fuck him.
But putting that to the side, it is a lie that this was an all-white jury.
Really?
This is a lie being spun by race hustlers who want to stoke up racial animus in the wake of this totally just verdict. There were no black people on the jury, but it wasn't all white. Oh, by the way, why were there no black people on the jury? Because we had black jurors testifying. I'll give you an example, potential black jurors.
This is not even what she finna get ready to say. There's no evidence to back this up. You cannot pull this up in any type of court document or anything.
Testifying things like this, quote, I don't know if I'd feel right putting a brother in jail.
What proof? Where you get that from?
You will be dismissed from the jury every single time for that kind of nonsense.
Where you get that from, Megyn? That's not facts. You have no proof of that. That's why you didn't cite your source. That's some shit that they running with on social media. That's the shit that the mainstream media is running with. There's no fact that a black person said that. You have no evidence to say that. But of course you're going to come on your platform and lie like this. If this is facts and truth, and you reading something on your desk, why you can't present it and put it on the screen? Why you can't give us a link so we can read it and see is this true or not? You're lying, ma'am. Stop fucking lying.
Sir, that's why we had no black people on the jury. It wasn't because the prosecution was biased or didn't like black people or didn't think black people could come to a sane, just verdict. But you can't put any juror, black, white, Hispanic, or otherwise, on the jury with statements like that. Irrespective, this was not an all-white jury.
Yes, it was.
There were multiple minorities.
Here we go.
According
Let's
to Fox
see.
News Digital,
let us know.
Of the 12 jurors, there were 3 racial minorities, including Asian and Indian. 8 were women, 4 were men.
They are white people, Megyn. Asians identify as white. These Indians and Latinos that's on this trial, they identify as white. If you look at their birth certificates, if you look at their driver's license or IDs, Megyn, they identify as white. You can miss us about these minorities. Those were white people. And they uphold the same white supremacists that you do. They have the same anti-black racism as you do, Megyn Kelly. There was an all-white jury, and y'all know it. What is an Asian person? What is the race of an Asian person? It's not black. What is it? Asian is not a race. Indian is not a race. Latino is not a race. If you look at most of these Latinos identify as white. So please stop with this narrative that it wasn't an all-white jury. It was 100% a all-white jury. You idiot. Let's keep going, family.
18 total jurors, including alternates. So when they, cast
Salute to Nathaniel coming in with the $5 super chat. What's up, bro? How are you doing today? I'm just getting out work. It's good to see you. I'm doing great, Nathaniel. Putting belt to ass as usual. Thank you so much. Good to have you in the building, my brother. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Shout out to AW coming in with the $2 super chat. Another loud racist bozo. Yes, indeed. And we got a lot of loud mouth racist bozos to address, AW. She just the first. Shout out to AW. Shout out to Nathaniel coming in with the super chats. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Let's keep going, family.
Back there, when they choose the 18, the prosecution and the defense have no idea who's going to be whom. 6 were minorities. So everybody needs to knock it off.
No, you need to knock it off, ma'am. You need to knock it off. I thought this was the high IQ community, family. I thought they had a high IQ. Very dumb, very ignorant, very stupid. You know goddamn well the Asians identify as white. You know these Indians and Latinos identify as white. Megyn, stop trying to play us in our face. We too intelligent for that, love. Shout out to Lala coming in with a $2 super chat. Didn't say nothing, just showing love. Thank you so much. Salute to Cameron coming in with a $20 cash out. Thank you, young brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for the $20 cash out. Shout out to Lala for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Let's keep going, family.
With this all-white jury narrative. It's not true. All right, and now here's more from Karmelo Anthony's parents here, the mother, Kayla, who had this to say about the witnesses at trial.
Here, all of the witnesses' statements and stories were inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
So we thinking that the jury is going to notice that. But they already had their mind made up when they sat in that courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Their mind was made up already.
Yep.
All right. First of all, this idiot doing the interview is sitting there with about 10,000 pounds of false eyelashes on, just nodding herself yes, her head yes. I guarantee you this woman didn't watch 2 minutes of the trial. She's just going with the narrative that is her preferred narrative. She doesn't know anything.
You don't know anything, Rockface. You got 1,000 pounds of makeup on right now. You are not in no position to talk about no one, Megyn Kelly, looking in the way you look. Ma'am, stop it. You know nothing about this case. And we about to expose it today. Let's go, family.
She has no idea whether the witnesses were consistent or not.
Oh,
Clearly.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I understand the mother's grief.
Yes,
at
we do.
What has happened with her son. But that your job as a reporter is to stay factual and to not facilitate lies on your air. Mm-hmm. I realize it's, quote, the Breakfast Club, which nobody's really turning to for truly factual coverage about a trial. But do better, madam. If you're going to get into this game, do better.
Okay. We're going to see, Megyn.
The witnesses were consistent.
You heard that? She said the witnesses were consistent. I got your ass, Megyn. Let's keep going.
They just all went against Karmelo's case.
I wonder why.
Here's the Daily Mail's Marianne Martinez, who was in the courtroom, posting on X Friday, quote,
Marianne Martinez. Her last name is Martinez, which means she's a Latino. These Latino has anti-black racist. She said, we have now heard from 16s who were at the stadium that day. Austin Metcalf was stabbed by Karmelo Anthony. 4 out of 6 are black. All have testified that Karmelo Anthony was asked to leave the Memorial High School tent, provoked Austin Metcalf. I want you guys to see the wording here. This is a Latino, by the way. Anti-black racism. Pulled a knife before or while Austin had even pushed Karmelo. This woman, this Latino, went inside the courtroom, and this is why not having cameras on the inside of their courtroom, having media in the inside of their courtroom is so dangerous, because you got anti-black racists like this lady right here, Martinez, putting her own spin on what she's seen in the courtroom. Putting her own spin and coming to the public, and we supposed to listen to her. Absolutely not. You can tell by her statement right here that she's biased. Let's keep going.
Now heard from 6 teens who were at the stadium the day Austin Metcalf was stabbed by Karmelo Anthony. 4 out of the 6 are black. All have testified that Karmelo Anthony was asked to leave the Memorial High School team tent, provoked Austin Metcalf, and pulled a knife before or while Austin had even pushed Karmelo. There was total consistency on that. For the first time since World War II,
she said it was
national
totally
debt has exceeded the gross domestic live today in the Karmelo Anthony trial. They're all telling the same story. Karmelo was not known or wanted underneath the Memorial High School tent. Multiple kids asked him to leave, and he refused.
So he don't have to leave nowhere. They're not the police. They don't have no authority to tell nobody to leave. Because if you look at the footage, you look at the surveillance, nobody told Karmelo Anthony to leave. Everybody was just fine with Karmelo before the Metcalf twins walked inside of the stadium. And we are going to prove that this evening, Megyn Kelly. You know you fucked up with this video, right? Shout out to Nathaniel coming in with the $2 super chat. I'm so sick of these racists. All she do is lie. And this is why I'm making sure that I put this on my platform to have an archive for Benjamin Crump that's on the Karmelo Anthony attorney team, so he can sue the shit out of all these goddamn racists. Thank you so much, Nathaniel, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Let's keep going.
The truth is, whatever inconsistencies there were of note came from the defense witnesses. One defense witness had to admit he was wrong when he told police that Karmelo was surrounded in the...
Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the facts, right? She's bringing up tweets from this racist Latino talking about what she seen or what she heard in the courtroom. What you are looking at right here, before I read out this affidavit, I just want to make sure, Megyn, you know that this is authentic and this is real, right? I just want to read this paragraph first. It says, I, Mike Howard, am at least 18 years of age, of sound mind, and I am qualified to make this affidavit. I have personal knowledge of the facts stated herein, and that they are true and correct. Okay? This is Mike Howard stating that this is him qualified to make this affidavit. Now let's get into it, family. She said that the twins testimony was consistent. Let's go to paragraph 13, family. We're going to slow cook this. We're going to have a good time. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. Make sure you guys smash that like button while you coming on in. Let's read paragraph 13, Megyn Kelly, in this affidavit. Throughout the trial, the defense revised its trial strategy in reliance upon the agreement, right? The agreement. This is the gentleman agreement that they had outside of the courtroom. I'm pretty sure you have seen this by now, Megyn Kelly. You probably acting like you haven't seen it, but you've seen it. Absent the agreement, the defense intended to cross-examine each memorial student witness the prosecution called about Austin and Hunter Metcalf. Let me read that one more time so we know what witnesses we are talking about. The defense intended to cross-examine each memorial student witness the prosecution called about Austin and Hunter Metcalf character and reputation for violence and being bullies and for racism. The defense also intended to cross-examine. Let's go down. These witnesses about various statements they made to police on April 2nd, 2025, family. These same witnesses that took the stand, the same witnesses that Megyn Kelly is bringing up saying that their statements was consistent and they was telling the truth. These are the witnesses that was on body cam footage stating this. Because I don't know if a lot of people know about this, family. This affidavit, these witnesses that made this statement about Hunter and Austin being violent and bullying, these are the same individuals that took the stand that said that they didn't want Karmelo under the tent. Karmelo was provoking Austin. Karmelo did this. Karmelo did that. These are the same witnesses. And it said the defense intended to question these witnesses about their various statements they had made on to the police on April the 2nd. They know they fucked up, right? Megyn, you know you fucked up, right? Let's keep going. Regarding Austin and Hunter Metcalf being easily triggered, having a loud mouth, being passionate, not allowing themselves to be disrespected. Austin is really a big guy. This is the witnesses that everybody is talking about how credible that they is. But those guys that took their stand, family, they did not know that their body cam footage was recording. They didn't know. Austin is a really big guy. He's kind of like of aggressive. Austin got the same way that he got during the altercation is the same way he got with some of us. The same way he got with some of us, family. These are their witnesses that Megyn Kelly is advocating for. These are the same witnesses that took the stand that lied on Karmelo Anthony. These people have two different statements. They told the police right here. Austin got the same way he got during the altercation is the same way he got with some of us. The Mellow Kid. Austin and Hunter, they're not going to let you disrespect them. Austin, he's like a big guy, so nobody really want to fight him. Austin is really passionate. Jose told police about Austin's history of fighting and almost getting kicked off the football team for fighting. See, Jose and them didn't know that the police had the body cam on, family. They had the body cam on. So when they got on the stand, they told a whole different other story. But Megyn Kelly here is saying that, hey, the witnesses told the truth. They was consistent. So I asked you, Megyn, I know you're going to watch this. So why did the witnesses that took the stand against Karmelo Anthony tell police this right here? Why did they tell police that Austin got the same way he did with Karmelo with us? Kicking our ass up and down the damn street. Got a history of fighting and almost getting kicked off the team, Megyn. That's what these witnesses stated to the police. Salute to the family. Salute to the chat. Salute to the trolls. Thank you for being with me on this evening. Shout out to you guys. Let's keep going.
The tent before the stabbing. He'd been trying to paint a picture like these kids from Memorial High School had been like ganging up on him, surrounding him, and therefore he was threatened. That was bullshit. He was forced to concede on the stand that Karmelo was only surrounded after he stabbed and murdered Austin Metcalf. From CBS Texas, quote, prosecution, you had a few things wrong when we talked. Is that right? Witness, yes, sir. Prosecution, your initial statement to police that you saw Karmelo Anthony surrounded had to be after the stabbing. Yes, said the witness. You had a story in your head when we visited, correct? Yes. After a few more lines of questions, they continued. Prosecution, my impression when we first met, you thought when you saw people surrounding Karmelo Anthony, it was before the stabbing. Yes, sir. That was actually after the stabbing, asked the prosecutor. Witness, I couldn't really tell. Prosecution, when you and I met, you told me you thought it was before the stabbing. Witness, I thought it was as the stabbing was happening. Prosecution, you know you're wrong? Witness, yes. Yes, sir. And then...
What are you reading from? You don't have the transcripts in front of you. These are not court documents that you're reading from, Megyn Kelly. Because if these were factual statements that you are reading right now, you will present them on screen. There's no transcripts out right now of the trial. You're lying, ma'am. You're reading from some goddamn reporter that's lying about what they heard in the trial. There's no court documents that's saying this. Stop it.
On, we get this story from Karmelo's father that Karmelo wasn't trying to leave the scene after he plunged a knife for no reason into Austin Metcalf's heart, that he simply had just gone over to a teacher for a hug after this dastardly deed. Watch.
And so the video that you all that they showed in court, it shows him running away from.
Yeah, he ran to the teacher. The teacher said that the teacher he ran to a guy, and the teacher he ran to actually he hugged him because Karmelo, he's not like
bro. She do not got no transcripts, bro. If she had transcripts, she would be putting it on the screen. She's lying.
He hugged the guy. Like, he was freaking out. He hugged the guy. So the guy they was hugging. He was crying hysterically, and they tried to paint it as if he was trying to leave. But then in court they said it that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah.
What would be a good way of getting that testimony in order to give your son's defense? Maybe put him on the witness stand?
He couldn't get on the witness stand because they made an agreement. His defense team made a deal with the devil. That's why Karmelo Anthony didn't take the stand. His defense team was in on the fix. That's why he didn't get on the stand, ma'am. And the reason why Hunter didn't get on the stand, because he was arrested for racist graffiti, ma'am. Yeah, this video didn't age well for you, Megyn Kelly.
Chose not to do that. Chose not to make the case that it was self-defense through Karmelo, nor that he didn't flee through Karmelo. You want to get your helpful facts out now after the trial's over? That's not how it works, sir. Now, what he said there is partially true based on witness testimony, but it leaves out some key facts. See, according to CBS Texas, Karmelo only went to that teacher after he was first stopped by Memorial High School athletic trainer Tiffany Whitaker. The teacher, who is Heritage High School coach Vincent Hooper, testified that Whitaker handed Anthony to him, saying, "Do not let him leave." That's also according to CBS Texas. He wasn't just looking for a supportive hug. He was not free to leave because they realized he had just committed a murder. And here's more color from Sarah Fields on X. Quote, Tiffany Whitaker, the athletic trainer with Memorial High School, testified that she got in front of Anthony as he was running, put her hands up to keep him from leaving, and yelled at Coach Vincent Hooper, "Hey, this kid stabbed someone. Don't let him leave." This is when Coach Hooper put his arms around Karmelo in a hugging fashion to prevent him from leaving the stadium.
Are you talking about? You talking about this Sarah Fields right here? Like this criminal? Hold on 1 second, family. Because she wanna bring up criminals as credible sources. It's crazy that she brought, Sarah Fields up, because I don't think she know this, or she do know it, and she just trying to ignore it. But I'm not gonna let you get away with it, Megyn Kelly. You talking about this Sarah Fields right here that was arrested for abandonment, endangering a child? You talking about this woman, this anti-black racist that went into that courtroom and came back out giving false statements, false narratives? You talking about this lady? Come on now. You should have checked your sources before you promoted her as somebody credible. This is a criminal. This is a criminal that we talking about. And this is the problem with your community. Y'all can't keep y'all hands off of children. You're lying, Megyn. But let me show you the video. Since you said that Karmelo Anthony was stopped. He was stopped after he ran from the bleachers. Let's test that theory, family. Let's go. Let's see the video of Karmelo Anthony running. There he go. Let's see somebody waving their hand, stopping him. He's running. Let's see. Nobody stopping him. Some people walking up the bleachers. He walked back and then he turned around. Boom, he gone. Nobody stopping him. He's about to run directly to his coach with no interference. You still got kids following him, trying to jump him, by the way. There's nobody stopping him. There's nobody handing him over to nobody. You're lying, Megyn. And here go the coach walking him out to the field right here. There go the coach. He's walking with the coach, man. So what are you talking about? He's next to the coach. The coach got his arms around him. He finna walk right back to his coach. His coach finna hug him. So what are you talking about? Lies. Lies. You listening to a criminal. You posting a criminal as credible source. Like, stop it.
That's what happened. That's what the testimony was at trial. And yet this Drew Anthony gets up there to say, and you saw the long pause. That's the long pause of a liar searching for a story. And he spoon-fed it to this moron to say, oh, you just needed a hug. Where was her homework? To say, wrong, sir. The trial testimony suggested he was stopped physically by a coach who had just received a holler from someone else saying, stop him.
Okay. I don't even got to do too much talking. I can just let the evidence talk, bro. I don't even have to. It's so easy to debunk her. I don't even got to say nothing, bro. I don't even got to say nothing. I don't have to say anything. She's getting her source from this lady, a criminal. This is where she get her evidence from. Ain't nobody stopping Karmelo. Ain't nobody physically putting their hands on Karmelo to stop him from going to his coach. Nobody done that. So you lied again. It's so easy to debunk you, Megyn. Nobody put their hands on him. Here he go, walking out of the gate with his coach. This lady is fucking crazy.
Just stabbed someone. This is ridiculous. All right, here, moving on, is what Karmelo's parents had to say about Karmelo not taking the witness stand. Watch.
And did Karmelo want to testify in his own on his own behalf and was
survive? It was based on everything. It didn't need nothing because everything they said when it's self-defense, they have to prove it. They
Smash
never
that
proved
like button, family.
Okay. So that was never, that was, because I know there was this pause, and a lot of people thought that, we were going to come back and he was going to take the stand, and he didn't. So that was
He
never.
didn't take the stand, family, because they had a gentleman's agreement for Karmelo not to take the stand because his defense team made a deal with the devil. His defense team made a deal with the devil to help wreck Karmelo Anthony because Karmelo Anthony was willing to testify. He was prepared to testify, and they state that directly in the affidavit.
An option that had never been discussed of him taking the stand.
That's why we just need a new. We need somebody who's gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can really say right now. We just need somebody gonna fight for him.
It's not an answer.
Because their whole thing was he provoked it. That was their entire case. He provoked it. That's what the whole thing was.
That's not an answer. Okay. She said she's asking why he didn't take the witness stand. He's just meandering. He doesn't want to give it up. I'll tell you right now why he didn't want to take the witness stand. He was obviously going to make a terrible witness. Terrible.
Okay. He was going to be a terrible witness. Okay, cool. Gotcha, Megyn. Let's test that theory right here with actual facts. Okay? Let's test it right here. In good faith reliance upon the agreement, the defense did none of this. The defense even limited its questioning of witnesses about statements they had made about Metcalf twins. So they had limited, this was the agreement, family, outside of court. They limited its questions of the witnesses about statements they had made about the Metcalf twins being triggered, having a loud mouth, being passionate, etc., etc. They had been deemed to be allowed under the agreement of caution to avoid opening the door, right? Because they made an agreement not to talk about Karmelo Anthony background or the Metcalf background. So the defense couldn't even question the witnesses about the statements they made right here to police. Austin got the same way he got during the altercation with Karmelo is the same way he got about us. Furthermore, the defense intended to call witness familiar with Austin and Hunter Metcalf's reputation for violence and bullying. The defense intended to call witnesses who themselves were victims of the Metcalf twins' violence and bullying. The defense intended to question Memorial High School teachers about the Metcalf twins' disciplinary history contained in their school records and the testimony about the Metcalf twins' arrests for racist graffiti, family. Racist graffiti. This is demonic what Mike Howard did. Mike Howard sold Karmelo off to these people. These people done legally lynched Karmelo Anthony. They limit the questioning from the defense. The defense team couldn't even ask those witnesses what they said to the police. It's right here in black and white, family. This is what the witnesses said before they took the stand. And we also heard, and we did a video on, Pat Fallon said that he met and spoke with the witnesses the same day. Pat Fallon spoke to the key witnesses. Everybody spoke to the witnesses, but they forgot to mention that the witnesses have already made statements to the police. Jose told police about Austin's history of fighting and almost getting kicked off the football team for fighting, but they didn't question Jose about this on the stand. They didn't question these kids that said, hey, Austin got the same way with us, the same way he got with Karmelo Anthony. They didn't bring this to the stand. They didn't talk about the victims who themselves were victims of the Metcalf twins' violence and bullying. And they also didn't even bring up that they was arrested, Megyn Kelly, for racist graffiti. So everything that the family have stated about these family has been true. They were violent. They were bullies. And Mike Howard knew this. Judge, the put the icing on top, family. Judge Roach knew this. Judge Roach seen all this evidence, and he allowed it to not be presented during trial. But Megyn Kelly is not going to make one video about this. Not one video.
Horrible witness. And my suspicion is it's because he has zero regrets. He's not sorry at all. At all. He's an aggrieved young man, taught racial grievance, most likely from his parents, who hired the biggest race hustler in Texas as their family spokesperson. There is zero chance if Karmelo Anthony would have made a compelling witness, if he really were the sweet kid just running around looking for hugs, that he would not have wound up on that stand, my friends. That's how you make a self-defense defense. That's not what happened. And what he's saying there, in any event, is not true. The jury not only convicted Karmelo, they rejected his sudden passion defense.
There is no evidence or proof that Karmelo Anthony was suspended from school for fighting. What proof do y'all keep saying that? What proof do y'all got? There's no proof of that. It don't matter if he did get suspended from school for bringing a knife. Let's run with y'all narrative about that. Let's say, even though y'all can't prove that, let's just say that it's true. That still has nothing on what these boys have been arrested for. This affidavit proves the Metcalf twins' true intentions when they confronted Karmelo Anthony. They wasn't bothered about Karmelo Anthony sitting under a damn tent. They didn't care nothing about that. They care about bullying people because they are racist pricks, just like their father. Because Megyn Kelly, you got to ask the question, what racist graffiti was they arrested for? Where was this happening at? Was it at the school? Was it at a public building? These boys was arrested, Megyn Kelly, for their racism. And you seen this and you ain't spoke on this yet. You allowed this video to still be up on your platform with all this goddamn lying. It's victims of these boys. Those witnesses have already made a statement to the police, Megyn, talking about their behavior. You can't get away with this.
That would have knocked down his conviction to only a second-degree felony. They just weren't buying what the defense was selling at all. Have you noticed the shirts that they're wearing too?
Have you noticed the affidavit, Megyn? Have you noticed the affidavit? Have you noticed this, Megyn Kelly? Since you want to point everything out, have you noticed this? Why haven't you made a video on this, Megyn? I'm still waiting on it. This video was posted a month ago. This has been released for a few weeks now. What you waiting on? It's out here. But let me guess. It makes you look stupid, huh? It makes you look dumb. And it proved me and the family right this whole time about this family. See, we knew that they was racist this whole time. We knew it. Check this out, family.
What's your take on whether or not, from those witness statements at the time that this happened, where do you think the jury would land on a case like this?
This is George Zimmerman, attorney, by the way. This is the guy who represents George Zimmerman during his trial.
It's fun. It's going to be a tough call. And I know that's an easy thing to say. You can't lose if you say you're in the middle. It's going to be a tough call for these reasons. When you actually do an analysis of self-defense, there are different components. You know, the argument that Karmelo Anthony was there and he shouldn't have been there. Well, that's okay, but this is not, it's not your bleachers. You don't get to throw people out because of a tent.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The attorney stated that Karmelo he wasn't wanted under the tent, but y'all can't throw nobody out on the bleachers that y'all don't own. Y'all don't own them bleachers. Just because you got a fucking tent over them doesn't mean that you got the right to throw somebody out. But they was never concerned with this tent. It was all about targeting Karmelo. That's it. But white America refused to talk about it. Shout out to Christina coming in with the $100 cash out. Shout out to Christina showing love. Thank you so much for that, Christina. She stated she paid for you to know Megyn Kelly is a man. She said, you do know Megyn Kelly is a man. I do. I can tell. That's why I call her rock face, Christina. That's why I call her rock face. She looked like a man. And a demonic one, by the way. Thank you so much, Christina, for the $100 cash app. I appreciate you. Thank you.
That's an argument that you're going to see the defense make. Why did the eventual victim in this case decide that it was his role to kick him out? And then there's a tussling back and forth. And then, unfortunately, Mr. Metcalf did seemingly start the fight, so to speak, right? He was what we might call the aggressor, and pushing him out or grabbing him and touching him.
He said he was the aggressor. He was the aggressor because he put his hands on Karmelo Anthony first. But everybody want to paint Karmelo to be the provoker. Let's keep going.
So under Florida law and also Texas law, and when you're the aggressor, when you first start the fight, so to speak, you may lose the protection. If it was Karmelo who started, Karmelo Anthony. Now we get to say shift it because if Metcalf was the one who started the fight, now can Anthony respond to defend himself? We know he can. And then, as was mentioned a moment ago, are you supposed to bring a knife to a fist fight? No. You're supposed to bring a gun to a fist fight? Absolutely not. But if you're there and starting to get attacked, which is what the defense is going to say, can you defend yourself? And what they're going to say is, Anthony doesn't need to wait until the first nasty strike, the first injury. He can presuppose what might happen, and he's allowed to defend himself. But again, really a tough case because it really is in the middle. And we're talking about two 17-year-olds. We joke and say that a male brain isn't fully developed until 25. And unfortunately, the tragedy happened probably because of a mix of testosterone and immaturity.
No, it happened because of two racist individuals that felt the need to try to bully someone that wasn't having it. That's why we in this position that we in now. Because Karmelo Anthony wasn't bothering nobody. These people want to paint their own narratives with that Karmelo was looking for trouble. He was asked to lead a 1,000 times. That's a lie. That's a lie. Let's keep going, family. Let's get the likes up, family.
Say the parents here. Hashtag believe Karmelo. How are we supposed to believe him if he didn't say anything in his
Because it was an agreement, Megyn. Come back and do the video and go over the affidavit. I would love to see that, Megyn. I would love to see you break down the affidavit that's been released for the past few weeks now. And you just went on with your program like you didn't say all these goddamn lies about Karmelo Anthony and defending the Metcalf family. The affidavit is out here. You can go Google it.
own defense. We have no idea what Karmelo's position is. He hasn't spoken one word. What do you mean, believe Karmelo? What the F is that? Some weird take on believe all women, which was also bullshit. There's no one to believe. You people.
There you go. You people. That slipped out right there. Her racism slipped out. That's why she got to bring Jason Whitlock on her platform. That's why she got to bring the Sambo class on her platform so shit like this won't slip out. She said, you people, you know what she mean by that. Megyn Kelly, you are an evil, demonic individual. And I'm glad what happened to Austin happened because he deserved it. He worked hard to be in the dirt right now. Because you sitting on your platform, Megyn, and not holding him accountable, how is that going to work out for the next young white boy that think that he can approach a young black boy and put his hands on him and it's going to go in a whole different other way that he expect? How about you get on your platform and say, hey, young white boys, if you got an issue with somebody at a school event, at a sports event, go get an adult. If all these witnesses had a problem with Karmelo Anthony, why didn't not one of them, Megyn, not one? You mean to tell me it was 21 witnesses that said they told Karmelo Anthony to leave 15 times and not one of them go get a teacher? Because they didn't give a damn about that, Megyn. But let me just show you this right here, right? If you look over here at the corner, Megyn, everybody was sitting down minding their business. Karmelo Anthony wasn't bothering nobody. Nobody was fighting. But as soon as these boys walked into the stadium, Megyn, all hell broke loose because they had the attention of bullying somebody. They was excited. They was running to the conflict. These are not innocent individuals, Megyn. I know you want to paint these boys out to be somebody, but they're not. But they are demons. They are devils, Megyn. They was arrested for racist graffiti. The teachers was willing to take the stand, Megyn. It was victims of their violence and bullying. Their friends have already made a police statement, Megyn, that they was kicking their ass too. Nobody liked these twins. Nothing was happening until they showed up. But you failed to mention that. And it wasn't even 21 people that showed up at the tent at one time, which means that they was already under the tent before Austin and Hunter showed up. 21 people in that video wasn't there. It wasn't 21 people walking into that stadium. This happened only 6 minutes. Within 6 minutes, these boys can sit their damn ass down and mind their business.
I understand upset parents, but you don't deserve our presumption of truth tellers. You haven't earned it. We don't believe you.
We don't believe you.
And your son has given us absolutely nothing to hold on to whatsoever.
Oh, you don't believe the parents. You don't believe us. Because we are not truth tellers. We don't have to convince you of anything, Megyn Kelly. The truth is already out there. The truth is in the pudding. You can't run from the truth now, Megyn. Well, you are running from the truth. That's why she haven't done a video talking about this. She ain't backtracked her statements. She ain't deleted this video. She ain't took none of her videos down with all the lies that she had been spreading over the past month. Over the past month, Megyn Kelly was consistent on making videos about Karmelo Anthony. Not one video about Nolan Wells, by the way. No video about the affidavit, by the way. No videos of Jeff making his third GoFundMe. How convenient of you, Megyn.
And you heard in that soundbite some animosity toward Karmelo's attorney, Mike Howard, who is white. They claimed that's the reason that they hired him, because they were advised to hire a white guy. Watch.
Everybody kept saying, hey, to beat this. I even went to some black attorneys. They're like, oh, you need a white attorney to go out there to fight out there. Remember they were telling us that?
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
We will not stop fighting for justice.
How did Karmelo Anthony receive a fair trial when they left out so many key evidence and witnesses out of the trial? And Judge Roach knew this. Judge Roach seen the affidavit. He was a part of the agreement, family. He was a part of it. And he allowed this to be dismissed out of the trial. If the jury would have seen this, they would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, Karmelo Anthony is innocent. Ain't no way. This is why Judge Roach made sure that it was no video cameras in that courtroom. That's why he held the trial on a Saturday, to make sure that he rushed this. He wanted to rush this trial and railroad Karmelo Anthony and do him dirty, because his defense team has already sold him to the wolves, family. Shout out to Christina coming in with the $100 super chat. Thank God Karmelo fought for his life. Absolutely. I am so glad that Karmelo Anthony is here and Austin Metcalf is in a dirt dead where he deserved. Because this was going to happen to him sooner or later, Megyn Kelly. This was his destiny. This was destined to happen to him. But thank you so much, Christina, with your $100 cash out. I really appreciate you for contributing and supporting the platform. You are the real MVP, Christina. Thank you so much for that. See, she mad because Karmelo Anthony won, family. These people really was hoping that those boys was going to beat Karmelo Anthony down. But Karmelo Anthony wasn't finna wrestle with y'all. He wasn't finna wrestle with y'all. And the prosecution didn't even prove that Karmelo Anthony unalive Austin. Their only evidence in this case was those 21 witnesses that got on their stand and lied after making police statements saying that they was bullied by Austin and Hunter. That is fucking crazy, family.
But was there at any point that you felt the outcome was heading in this direction?
No. Everybody lied. Look at the report. Everybody.
Why didn't the defense call more witnesses?
That's not my department, and I apologize for that.
They didn't call no witnesses because they had an agreement. They had an agreement, ma'am. That's why they didn't call no witnesses. The defense team mentioned numerous of times in the affidavit that they had victims of the Metcalf twins. They had teachers that was coming to speak on the behalf of Karmelo Anthony. They had questions to ask the Metcalf witnesses that stated that they was bullied by Karmelo Anthony, but they couldn't even question them. You know why? You know why, family? Because if you look right here on paragraph 16, in good faith reliance upon the agreement, the defense did none of this. The defense even was limited in questioning of the witnesses about statements they made about the Metcalf twins being triggered, having a loud mouth, and being passionate, etc., etc. They had to keep this out of the trial because the fix was in outside of the courtroom.
Because there was no one who could help him. Because all the witnesses, hello, Mimi, the white ones and the black ones, said it was exactly as Austin Metcalf's defenders said.
No, they didn't, Megyn. No, they fucking didn't. They didn't say that. They didn't say that on April the 2nd, 2025, Megyn. They didn't say that. Read the... See, this did not age well for Megyn. This video right here, family, in 4K did not age well for her because the surveillance video is out. She lied about Karmelo being stopped physically by another teacher. I just proved that there was a lie. I just proved that those witnesses was inconsistent and they got on their stand and lied. And Megyn Kelly don't even know that the affidavit proved that Karmelo Anthony was willing to testify on his behalf. But the gentleman's agreement was he cannot testify. Because everybody running with this false narrative that Karmelo was suspended from school for bringing in a knife. Okay, so what? So what? But the victims and the police reports and the arrest records of the Metcalf supersede that suspension from school that Karmelo Anthony had. Because Karmelo Anthony didn't have a criminal history, a criminal background. None of that. And it's been a month since you dropped this video. And you ain't responded to the evidence that's actually out here. You reading false police reports from convicted felons. No transcripts has been released. So I don't know what you're reading. And you don't even want to show us what you're reading, Megyn.
That Karmelo Anthony went into a tent he wasn't invited into.
So?
That the teams did not sit together. It was highly unusual for someone to do this.
What?
It was basically considered a provocation. That multiple people went over to Karmelo to say, please leave. He wouldn't.
So?
That when Austin, who'd been asked by a coach to be a leader in the tent that day.
That's all he asked him, Megyn. That's all he asked him was to be a leader. He didn't say be a leader in the tent. He said, because the coach was pissed off at them for their behavior. See, that's what you failed to mention, Megyn. The coach asked them to be there, to be a leader, not top flight security of the tent. And you know why the coach told them to be at that tent, Megyn, and be a leader? Because of this email right here. Let me show you. Because of this email right here.
Secret Service Sam here with a Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf update. Here is an email I have obtained. I believe it to be real.
Salute, family. Salute to the chat.
Just listen to this. One of the cheerleaders complaining about the twins. Coaches, the other cheerleaders and I have tried to make an effort to stay supportive and spirited throughout the football season. However, the disrespect we feel coming from some of the football players is making it very difficult. Today, after our game against Liberty, some of us cheerleaders in uniform went to Canes. While talking amongst ourselves about the loss, Hunter Metcalf stood up and yelled that my friend and fellow varsity cheerleader is a fat bitch.
Yeah, Megyn, that's these boys that y'all defending, right? These are these twins. This is how they behave. This is a cheerleader that exposed her email, and Megyn have confirmed it, so you can't say that I'm making this up. The footage is out here, Megyn Kelly. You seen it. You seen all of this. You heard about this email that this cheerleader proved that these boys were bullies and violent. Look how they talk. Look how they talk to people who they disagree with.
I don't understand what triggers his rages, but to yell this unprovoked made us all really upset and was incredibly embarrassing for my friend, as everyone is in Canes looked at her and started laughing.
Salute to the family. Salute to the team. Thank you guys for joining me on this evening. I appreciate you guys. Salute to y'all. I appreciate you guys. Let's get the likes up, family. Let's go.
We see the Metcalfs act out time and time again, but we trust that there is no repercussions or some sort of consequence, so we stay out of it. But for it now to be directed towards one of the people that shows up to every game, but we trust everyone is in Canes, looked at her and started laughing. We see the Metcalfs act out time and time again.
We see the Metcalf twins act out time and time again, Megyn Kelly. Did you hear that? We see the twins act out time and time again. But all they did was just ask Karmelo, can you just please leave the tent, Karmelo? Please. Just please leave the tent.
But we trust that there is no repercussions or some sort of consequence, so we stay out of it. But for it now to be directed towards one of the people that shows up to every game to support and cheer them on is astounding to me. After they left Canes, one of the other football players told us that Hunter said his hands were bisexual.
Hey, Megyn, do you approve of young men putting their hands on young women? Do you approve of that, Megyn? Because this email is factual. The mother of Austin and Hunter, Megyn, confirmed this email. Other students confirmed this email. Hunter stated that both of his hands are bisexual. He will put his hands on a female or a male. Do you condone that type of behavior from the young white males in your community, Megyn? That's all I want to know. Because you so focused on Karmelo Anthony that wasn't bothering nobody, but y'all want to be hyper focused on everybody told him to leave. Everybody said this. They didn't want him under there, which is a lie, because he was sitting down 10 minutes before the Austin and Hunter even showed up. But I have to ask you the question again, Megyn. This is an email that a cheerleader reported to the school about these boys' violent and vicious and predatory behavior, and stating that they will put their hands on a female. What you think about this, Megyn Kelly?
Implying that he would not only hit guys, but also girls. She is not embarrassed, but genuinely scared, especially after seeing the way he can act on the field. I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware that he is acting like this in public spaces, which is not good for our school's representation and is discouraging us from keeping the cheerleading them on. I'm sorry.
Family, I'm going to tell you, when the trolls come over here, family, that means, we cooking, right? Because you got to think about this. The trolls was on the outside watching me, and I triggered their soul right? They having mayo attacks so bad that they say, I gotta type in Karmelo ain't going to jail for the rest of his life. It's the Jews, dude. It's the Jews. See, they gotta get in the chat room and just lose their mind. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the trolls. Salute to the chat. Salute to the family. Just laugh at them, family. That's all you got to do. Just laugh at them. But today, I'm blocking them. No payment on today. Today, I'm not even in the mood. I'm just going to block you. Soon I see you in the chat, you better go and get your troll material off, and then I'm going to block you. Salute to the family. Let's go.
Sorry for even having to come to you about this, but after tonight, it truly feels like it's getting out of hand. I recognize that
it's getting out of hand. She said she had to go confront and tell somebody and present this to someone because their behavior is getting out of hand. Megyn Kelly, I have to ask you the question. Do you condone these boys' behavior? Huh? Do you condone these boys' behavior, bullying this cheerleader, telling her that his hands are bisexual, and also having an arrest record of racist graffiti? They also have school records of them being bullies and violent. And those witnesses that took the stand made a statement to the police, Megyn Kelly, stating that Austin kicked their ass and did the exact same thing to Karmelo they did to us. My God, Megyn, I know this is going to be a hard watch for you.
I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware that he is acting like this in public spaces, which is not good for our school's representation and is discouraging us from keeping the cheerleading them on.
See, it's discouraging the cheerleaders to even cheer for these people, Megyn. It is so hard for the cheerleader team to even cheer for these boys. That's how difficult these boys is. That's how violent and vicious their behaviors is, to the point where the cheerleaders don't even want to be a cheerleader anymore. This is an email, by the way, Megyn Kelly, that was presented to the school and the coach, right? The coach responded that the cheerleaders need to go to the police. The coach wasn't even trying to save those boys. He told their cheerleader, go to the police. Go to the damn police on these boys. Listen to this, family. These young women don't even want to cheer anymore.
I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware that he is acting like this in public spaces, which is not good for our school's representation and is discouraging us from keeping the cheerleading them on. I'm sorry for even having to come to you about this, but after tonight, it truly feels like it's getting out of hand. I recognize that he may be upset that we lost, but there is no justification for the way he treated my friend tonight.
No justification of how he treated this young girl after a football game just because she had an opinion about their play. Megyn Kelly, do you justify this type of behavior of these racist bullies that was locked up? They got locked up for racist graffiti. It was witnesses that was ready to take the stand, but they did in agreement outside of the trial to make sure that this wasn't presented. But the mother exposed this email to the public because she was tired of everybody lying about how sweet and nice these demonic individual was. These are two pieces of shit of young men, and may Austin rest in peace. Piss.
I would also appreciate for my name to stay confidential, as I fear what they would do if they knew.
Wow. Megyn Kelly, this ain't gonna be good for you, Megyn Kelly. This ain't good for you, Megyn Kelly. I see why you stand away of making another video about this case. I understand now. It's too much. The lies that you spread on your platform is diabolical. This young girl said she feared for her safety of what these twins may do to her. Can you please keep my name anonymous? Didn't Pat Fallon come out and say that all these narratives about the twins was false? What about this, Pat Fallon? You jumped on Fox News and was an advocate for these boys, spoke highly of these boys. But Fox News knew you was a fucking lie. That's why they deleted their interview that you had on their platform. Wow.
For the way he treated my friend tonight. I would also appreciate for my name to stay confidential, as I fear what they would do.
I fear what they will do.
If they knew. Why did Mike Howard not enter this in Karmelo Anthony's defense? There's so much that has been left out of this trial that we will keep it awake, and I will always expose their secrets for the community.
See, it's crazy. Mike Howard sold Karmelo off. He sold Karmelo to the devil. But Megyn Kelly see all this information that's out. She know about this email that the cheerleader wrote to the school. She saw the TikTok that Megyn, the mother of Austin, stated that this email was true. She confirmed what Hunter and Austin did to that cheerleader. But Megyn Kelly is not going to address it. She's not going to talk about the affidavit. She's not going to talk about them lying-ass witnesses that took their stand but had a different story when they talked to the police on the day of the incident.
Keep order. Make sure nothing happened that was going to lead to a bad result. That's why he wanted him to leave. I'm sure Austin saw this could spiral into something because it was, you know.
This lady acting like Austin. Yeah, listen to this clown, fam. Oh, my God, bro. This is hard to listen to.
He wanted him to leave. I'm sure Austin, who'd been asked by a coach to be a leader in the tent that day. Keep order. Make sure nothing happened that was going to lead to a bad result. That's why he wanted him to leave. I'm sure Austin saw this could spiral into something. Because
she said Austin probably saw that this was going to conspiral into something. No, Megyn. Megyn, stop. Stop, Megyn. Stop. My God, bro. How can she sit up here on her Family. I don't know if I can take this any longer.
Because it was, you know, an enemy, as that term is used in sports, in your home camp. No one allows that.
Yes, we do, Megyn. You're not an athlete. I am. I'm a former high school athlete. I'm a former college athlete. I'm a former prep school athlete. This word enemy, our rivals and players from different schools are not our enemy, ma'am. What are you? I had friends that I played against. Like, we are not, it's not that serious. Megyn is trying to paint this narrative that it's so serious that other teams can't even sit down and associate with one another. It's known in the sports world that we are enemies of one another. No, we not. It's not that damn deep, ma'am. That's why Karmelo Anthony was invited under a tent to talk to his so-called friend, Eddie. He was talking to someone. Stop trying to make it seem like these sports events is so goddamn hostile and everybody hate each other and can't nobody sit around and associate and talk to one another. Ma'am, stop it. You're stupid and dumb. You're making yourself look stupid. Talking about it's enemy territory. People don't do that. The coaches have already came out and said it's normal behavior for other players to go to other teams' tent. But of course, you got to push this false narrative, Megyn, because you are a low IQ, racist piece of shit. It's not that serious. This is a family event. And you acting like these boys is about to go to war. They about to run a fucking track meet, ma'am. Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine a Spur getting up at the Knicks game and sitting down on the Knicks bench? That doesn't happen.
Yes, it do. Oh my God. Megyn want to paint it seem. She wanted this shit to be like, these people is finna have a civil war at this damn track meet. Some children that's talking to one another, that compete with one another every week. These people see each other every week, whether it's track, volleyball, soccer, basketball, football. Everybody know each other in the conference, Megyn. They are not enemies. They competitors, but they not enemies. They know one another. Bro, everybody who I played against in high school, I had a friend on that team. Every time they came to our school and we played against them, we was chopping it up before the game. I walked over there to them. They walked over there to where I was at. It was no goddamn hostility to the point where somebody from my team going to approach somebody that I'm talking to and push them away. Bro, this lady got a mental health issue. Yeah, it's something wrong with her, family. Like, seriously, I don't even think Megyn Kelly is a normal, functional human being. Her sickness, her racism, and her hatred and her bigotry runs deep in her soul. Now she want to paint this track meet to be some type of war zone? War zone is crazy.
So he went over to say, you need to leave. And the first response was of an aggrieved person who felt put upon, like, you just make me. You go ahead and try to make me. See what happens. Yeah. All right, tough guy. Right? He was looking for a fight.
He was looking for a fight.
He knew he had a knife in his bag.
Wow.
I've been saying for days.
If he was looking for a fight, why wasn't he fighting somebody before the Metcalf twins showed up? Why didn't he fight last week at the track meet or week before then, Megyn? You see how stupid this narrative is? If he was sitting there looking for a fight, looking to murder someone, why wait till the Austin walk up on him? Hunter was the first person that approached him. Why he just didn't take Hunter out? Why he didn't fight Eddie? Why he didn't fight the people that was already under the tent? How did he know that the Metcalf twins was going to approach him and put their hands on him?
Days now, I could easily make the case as a prosecutor that this whole thing was a setup, that he went there with murder in mind.
I'm glad that you're not a prosecutor. And some of these prosecutors are just like her. Because she said that if she was a prosecutor, she would have presented that he went to this track meet with murder on her mind. But you would fall short on this, Megyn Kelly, because what evidence can you prove that he had this on his mind? He don't have a history of this. He don't have a criminal background. He don't have people coming forward stating that, hey, Karmelo bullied us. Karmelo Anthony beat us up, bullied us. He was arrested for poking somebody or unaliving somebody. But you know who do got that background? The Metcalf twins, who had a reputation for violence and bullies, who witnesses themselves were victims of the Metcalf twins, Megyn Kelly. You can't prove that in court, because I can just ask you this question. If Karmelo was just somebody that was looking for trouble, why wait? Why wait on the Metcalf brothers? Why he just didn't walk in the stadium and say, you know what, the first person I see, I'm just going to go and take him out of here. So Karmelo going to sit under a tent where he was actually scheduled to run that day, Megyn. You know that, right? You haven't even mentioned that. He was scheduled to run that day, as the same he did last week. He could have just poked anybody. If that was the case, why wait on Austin?
Why else would he have brought that knife to a track meet, into a tent?
Because it's legal.
Why else would he have dared Austin Metcalf to put hands on him? And then,
okay, Megyn, I dare you to jump off the bridge. I dare you to put your head up your ass. That's what I dare you to do. So if anybody dare you to do something, Megyn, that means you're going to do it, you fucking idiot. You see how stupid you sound? He dared him to do it. So just because Karmelo allegedly dared him to do it, which he didn't, he just told him and warned him, don't put your hands on me, homeboy, because I'm going to show you what happened if you continue to put your hands on me. He didn't dare him to do anything. I can dare you to go rob a bank. Guess who's going to jail for that crime? I can dare you to jump off a building. Guess whose funeral we having next week? No accountability. She dismissing the assault. She haven't said that, hey, Austin should have never approached Karmelo Anthony in that way. He should have just nicely asked And if Karmelo refused, go get a coach. Go get a teacher. Go get a security. But what Megyn failed to realize, her narrative don't fall under Austin's behavior. Austin don't give a fuck about telling no teacher about Karmelo being under there. He was there for one thing only, to bully and assault Karmelo Anthony because he has a history of racism and violence. Megyn Kelly, he went to jail for this. He got arrested for this. You can't run from the truth any longer.
Austin does in a way that didn't even knock him into the man next to him, Karmelo, and his Metcalf to put hands on him. And then Austin does in a way that didn't even knock him into the man next to him, Karmelo.
He said Austin does, but it didn't knock him in a way that he fall into somebody else. So she going to condone the pushing. Megyn Kelly condones violence. Megyn Kelly is not going to stay on her platform to keep your hands to yourself because you never know what will happen to you. You might just end up in the dirt burning in hell like Austin and Charlie Kirk. But she said all he did was just push him. He didn't push him that hard, so he ended up winding up falling into somebody. She condoned Austin's behavior. And this is the reason why a lot of young men in her community is going to be taken out, just like Austin. Because she ain't going to state that, hey, guys, this could have went another way if they would have just showed some type of sportsmanship and been friendly and been nice to Karmelo Anthony and welcome him over there because he was actually scheduled to run that day, and they stopped the track meet because of weather delay. That was the only reason why Karmelo Anthony was sitting under their tent. That's the only reason. Shout out to the Tory Experience for gifting 5 memberships. Shout out to the Tory Experience. Salute to you. Salute to the Tory Experience for showing love. Showing love to the team. Showing love to the family. Thank you so much to Tory Experience. You are the real MVP. The real MVP. Guys, can you guys type thank you, Tori, in the chat room right quick? Shout out to you, love.
Hello? And his aunt, before he can even be rattled in his seat, he's got a knife in the guy's chest?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's the reason we didn't have more witnesses. The lawyer for Karmelo Anthony was not talented. There's no question. He wasn't.
So you said that's the reason why we didn't have more witnesses? No. This is the reason why we didn't have more witnesses. Megyn, this is the reason. This is the reason why we didn't have more witnesses. Because these witnesses was ready to show up to court. They was ready. They was ready to testify. But they couldn't because of the silent agreement. That's the only reason why, Megyn.
However, the reason there was not a parade of witnesses is they did not exist. They weren't there.
Wow, she said they did not exist. Okay, Megyn. Y'all heard what she said. This Megyn Kelly. I'm not making up nothing, family. This is what Megyn Kelly saying. Megyn Kelly said the witnesses didn't exist. These are her words, not mine. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just gonna read y'all the statement on the affidavit right here. Witnesses of the prosecution called about Austin and Hunter Metcalf character and reputation for violence, for being bullies, and for racism. The defense also intended to cross-examine. Let's go to the next sentence, because I want to make sure that I'm showing Megyn the facts. I ain't just making none up. Examine these witnesses about the various statements they had made to the police on April the 2nd. And not only that, the prosecution did not call any of these witnesses. The defense was ready to call them during the defense case and question them as hostile witnesses. Furthermore, the defense intended to call witnesses familiar with Austin and Metcalf's reputation for violence and bullying. The defense intended to call witnesses who themselves were victims of the Metcalf violence and bullying. Teachers, witnesses, Megyn, They was there. They was there, Megyn. You saw this. You saw this affidavit and you ignored it. You left this video up on your platform looking stupid as you look right now. Shout out to Carmen coming in with the $5 cash out for FBA Power. Salute to you, Carmen. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $5 cash out. I appreciate you.
You cannot manufacture someone out of thin air.
We didn't manufacture anything. It's in black and white, Megyn. My question to you, and this is what I put in her this is what I put in her comment section. I think y'all should go over there and spam her comment section. I said, you've been real quiet since that affidavit dropped. You've been real quiet. That's what I put in her comment section. I'm like, damn, Megyn, what's up? Like, why you quiet about that? You like facts, right? You was real deal serious about being factual and everybody else is lying. Now that the facts is out about the witnesses that was willing to testify and speak on these boys' behavior and their arrest record for racist graffiti, and also treat the witnesses like hostile witnesses. But they was limited because of the agreement. And the defense team could not question them about their police statement they made on their day, saying that they got their ass kicked by the Metcalf twins. God damn. God damn.
So now they seem to be saying they wanted more of a fighter as an attorney. These people raised over $600,000 on Give, Send, Go for Karmelo's defense.
Thank you, Tory Experience.
Lots of good lawyers would have been eager to take that
Shout out to Heavenly coming in with the $5 super chat. They say Melo said, I did it, but didn't mention the body cam footage of Melo saying, I told him not. Keyword, I told him not to touch me. That eliminates provoking. See, Heavenly, this is something that the family got to understand. It's not about the truth, Heavenly. They know that it's not provoking. See, you speaking logic. They not speaking logic. They have to push their false narratives out there. They know the truth, but the anti-black racism inside of them won't allow them to speak truthfully about what happened. This woman said Karmelo Anthony dared him to assault him. And I told Megyn Kelly, I asked her, I dare you to go jump off the bridge. And let's see if you're going to do it. I dare you to put your head up your ass. I dare you to do it. So this provoking thing, it's a distraction. But shout out to you, Heavenly, for the $5 super chat. They don't care nothing about the truth. It's all about pushing false narratives and their lies, because they know damn well that that was not provoking. That was a warning. Even if I provoke you, I can provoke you to go rob a bank. Guess who's going to go to jail for that? I can provoke you to go beat up somebody and you beat them up and wind up unaliving them. Guess who's going to jail? Not me. Not me. Not the person that provoked you. You did that. You chose to do that with your conscious mind. Nobody told Austin to put his hands on Karmelo. He chose to. You know why, Megyn? Because he's a racist piece of shit, just like his father. Like father, like son.
And a fee, not to mention the publicity this trial would generate. A lot of lawyers love that. But instead they went with Mike Howard. Did they do any research? Do they have access to Google? Son turned out, for the way his trial turned out, yourselves. That you have yourselves to blame for the way your son turned out.
How did he turn out? He was an upstanding young man. Graduated high school on his way to college. Didn't have a criminal record. Captain of the football team, straight A student. Had a great future ahead of him. All because of the demonic spirit of your community. Your people are so racist, and this is going to continue to happen to your people, Megyn. If you don't get on your platform and encourage them to be more nice, be more loving to people that don't look like them, they is going to fall in the path of Austin Metcalf and Charlie Kirk because of your rhetoric, because you did not one time condemn his behavior. Not one time have you said, and these young white people are listening to you, you are doing them a disservice by not holding Austin Metcalf accountable. Not one time. All you're going to do is come on your platform and have a Mayo attack when y'all continue to get wiped out because y'all think that shit is sweet over here. Salute to Heavily coming in with a $2 super chat. In Texas, provoking can't be deemed from the words alone. Can't be dimmed from the words alone. She know this, Heavily. She know this. But she want to talk about the way that the Metcalf twins turned out. I mean, Karmelo turned out. What about these? This is how they turned out. Right? This is their father. Let me show you something. You got a lot of shit to say about Karmelo Anthony and how they turned out. Let me show you how their father turned out. This is him.
You don't even know who your fucking daddy is because 78% of you don't have your father in the home anymore. You got baby mamas running around with 8 kids so they can get EBT cards to feed you all.
Uh-oh.
You think I'm being racist? No, I'm being real.
What I heard Mr. Metcalf say was very triggering to me, to be honest with you.
Because 400 years ago, someone actually sold you to us and we took you over here and put you to work. And then we had a civil war to free your ass.
He freed us.
And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I've been so oppressed. You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled.
But let me back up and say, as a father, I completely understand that he's grieving. And that
I don't understand. But Megyn, that's who their father is. But you want to question how did Karmelo turn out? Karmelo is going to be fine. We fighting on his behalf. His defense team is taking care of business, and you know it. That's why you're not speaking about him anymore. You're afraid. You're afraid of what's coming for Karmelo Anthony. That's why you ain't made a single video mentioning him again. Not one video you mentioned Karmelo Anthony. But it's cool. You're going to get your just due. You can't hide behind your little platform of these fucking racists because you ain't said nothing about this.
Karmelo Anthony should be hanging from a tree.
Karmelo Anthony should be from a tree. This is your community. Do you condemn this? This is what your people was doing outside of the trial. Black people wasn't fighting nobody. This is what Jake Lang said. Outside of the trial, Megyn Kelly, do you condemn this behavior? See, the reason why these young white boys is growing up like this because of white mothers like Megyn Kelly. They are not good parents. They are demonic individuals. And Megyn Kelly is a piece of shit. And her son is going to wind up like Jake Lane. And somebody in your community, Megyn Kelly, is going to take him out because he's asking for it. Your people out here causing for the lynching of Karmelo Anthony. But you want to talk about Karmelo Anthony, how he going to turn out.
For the way his trial turned out, for the way your lives turned out.
They fine.
What happened to the $600,000, by the way? Where is that? Because just yesterday, he already filed for an appeal of the verdict and is pleading indigency, that he is, quote, penniless. So where's the money? Did it all go to this guy, Mike Howard? Or did it go to your mansion that you hung out in over the past year
Slander.
while you claimed you were receiving threats?
Slander. This is why I made sure that I cover this again, just in case you delete this or edit this. Slander. This is what these people do. They slander and they lie about black people. This is the same thing they doing with Nolan Wells' parents. Trying to act like that they after money, they after a lawsuit. They trying to spend money on this. The mother trying to be a content creator using her son death for an attention. This is what these people do, family. Now she's bringing up this narrative that they use to get the GoFundMe taken down. These people was already living good before the fundraiser. But what about this right here, Megyn Kelly? What about Jeff Metcalf raising over $600,000 and then made another GoFundMe? You ain't questioning that because you don't care. And not only that, Megyn Kelly, just in case you believe that the GoFundMe is not real, let me show you, because your people over there at Fox News that fired your ass promoted it.
All right. There is a GoFundMe, by the way, for the family of Austin Metcalf that is.
Will Kane promoted it. Will Kane promoted the GoFundMe.
Thank you, sir.
All right. There is a GoFundMe, by the way, for the family of Austin Metcalf that is
And
up.
this was a year ago, Megyn Kelly. This was a year ago. This was a year ago that Fox News promoted this. 1 year ago, it was almost at 100,000. This where it ended up at, Megyn Kelly, 600,000. Why in the fuck do Jeff Metcalf need 600,000? Why? Is he trying to profit off his son's death? You ain't mentioning none of this. But you want to worry about the support that we are giving our people. It's nothing that you can do about that. Because it's not going to stop. If our people is in need, we are going to show up for them. And not only show up for them, Megyn Kelly, we're going to show out. So the Anthony's family is going to be good. Soon as they drop their fundraiser, me and the family is going to show out for them. Guaranteed. You can take that to the bank.
Driving around, living large. I'd love to know.
Look at her.
Look, it's painfully obvious that Karmelo Anthony's parents let him down in numerous ways.
Oh, really?
And I want to end here.
How did they let him down? How did they let him down? That's what I want to know. Man, this woman got to get sued. Bro, these Benjamin Crump, sir, I'm making sure that I highlight all these people just in case they go running. Because Benjamin Crump I'm telling you, he need to get these motherfuckers for all of this lies and slander.
Okay, on something that is actually largely true, that Anthony's father, Drew Anthony, said. Watch.
He said it in court yesterday. Forgot. He said that they told my son to look at me when I'm talking to you.
Who said that?
The dad, the son, both of them said, "Look at me while we talk to you." Like, oh, it's gonna come out. They said, "Look at me while we talk."
The reason why they worrying about money, family, the reason why they worrying about money is because they have no argument. When they can't find out your if you don't have a criminal background, you ain't did nothing malicious or nothing like that. The only thing that they can do to discredit black people is count your pockets. And not only count your pockets, family, they got to discredit the people that's supporting you when you're going through a troubled time. If we show up for you, family, in a time of need, they is going to discredit you for receiving support from the people that love and support you. And they don't like that. But Megyn Kelly don't have a problem with the GoFundMes for Chud the Builder, Jake Lane, that black lady that said the N-word to the black child. She ain't got no problem. She ain't counting the white people pockets that's out here being degenerates and racist. But she want to have something to say about us when we show up and support our own. That's why they bring up money. Because they are jealous, hateful individuals because we kicking their ass across the board on everything we do. This is why her face is so strong like this. The hatred is oozing out of her face. Very unattractive, strong-faced woman.
Yeah. They did say, look me in the eyes. I don't know how Drew Anthony knows that because he didn't bother to show up during the sentencing and victim impact statements. He couldn't bother to be there for his son in that moment. He pieced out of there. But back to what Drew claimed in that soundbite. Yeah, Hunter Metcalf, Austin's twin, and Jeff, his dad, did reportedly ask Karmelo to look them in the eyes during their victim impact statements, and Karmelo didn't. He only briefly looked at Hunter one time.
Fuck him.
He couldn't bear to look in the eye the people whose lives he changed forever.
Good. I'm glad they life changed forever, and I wish the worst for them. Fuck Austin Metcalf and the Metcalf family. I hope all of them. You know what? They actually ruined Karmelo's life, Megyn. And I just want to show you guys this. Hold on, let's finish this clip.
He couldn't even give them that courtesy.
Fuck that courtesy. Let's go to her page. Let's go to her YouTube page. Right? No, I'm just trying to see one video of Nolan Wells. No video of Nolan Wells. You know, it doesn't fall in her narrative because it's some white boys that's the suspect. So Megyn Kelly is not going to address that. Of course not. Not one video of Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells don't get no attention over here on this platform, family. Let's keep going down. Nothing on Nolan's Well. I cooked her about the Charlie Kirk trial. Now she making all these videos about Charlie Kirk because she heard me. I cooked her ass, which we are going to go over this trial because Tyler Robinson is going to beat this trial. Free Tyler Robinson. Make Charlie Kirk rest in piss. Look at this, family. I want to show you guys this. She don't care about Nolan Wells. No video of Nolan Wells. Her last video of Karmelo Anthony was 3 weeks ago, and she was talking about his legal team. Right? His legal team. Let's keep going. This is another video. Major development in Karmelo Anthony's case. It's also a major development of Megyn Kelly. The affidavit is out. That's major development. That's major development, Megyn Kelly. These boys being arrested for racist graffiti changes everything in this case, Megyn Kelly, and you not even talking about it. Look at her right here. Karmelo Anthony trial judge speak out. No, she was vocal. She was vocal about Karmelo Anthony. Oh, very vocal. Let's keep going. Here we go. She interviewed Jeff Metcalf right here. Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, on the horrible statements he revealed from Karmelo Anthony supporters. Fuck him. Here we go again. Here we go another one. The truth about Karmelo Anthony's reaction. Let's keep going. Here we go. Karmelo Anthony parents play the victim outrage. Plenty of videos on Karmelo Anthony right here. The powerful impact statements from Austin Metcalf's family. Outrageous efforts to make race a factor in the Karmelo Anthony case. Karmelo Anthony convicted and sentenced. Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder. Megyn says no. Megyn Kelly on why Karmelo Anthony jurors should convict on murder charges and not manslaughter. She's very vocal of Karmelo Anthony. Impact, the truth about Carmelo's imperfect self-defense case. She was very vocal. No, yeah, and heavily. I ain't buying that shit that Nancy Grace is doing. Fuck Nancy Grace. She want to get on the internet and talk about Nolan Wells after what she did on Karmelo Anthony. This woman made countless videos disrespect. I posted one just a few days ago. You guys saw it. And that was like her 4th video on Karmelo Anthony. But she hasn't retracted her statements. Right? She want to go over evidence. I got pictures of Nolan Wells' body on a lake. Okay. Gotcha. Can you go over this affidavit, by the way? Because you like evidence, right, Nancy Grace? You want to talk about evidence. And she ain't redeemed herself to me talking about Nolan Wells. I don't give a fuck about that. That doesn't move the needle for me. I'm going to need her to go back on her platform and be as loud as she was when she was condemning and disrespecting and lying on Karmelo Anthony. That's what I want Nancy Grace to do. I don't give a fuck about her video talking about Nolan Wells. Not after what she did to Karmelo Anthony and his family. That woman put out a vicious attack on Karmelo Anthony. Countless lies. And we got a whole affidavit out right now, and she ain't spoke on it. She interviewed Jeff Metcalf, promoted his GoFundMe. But all of a sudden, we supposed to forget about that because you want to make a video about Nolan Wells? Man, we don't need you to talk about Nolan Wells. You going to wait till after the funeral to come out with your video? Really? And y'all excited about that? Fuck Nancy Grace. She's a racist piece of shit. I wish nothing but the worst for that woman. I know a lot of stuff have us moving so fast, but I take my time with this shit. I don't rush and go to this and go to that. No. I'm going to bring back exactly what y'all said about my people. I don't care if I got to go in the archive and go bring up your video from a year ago. I'm gonna go over it with the family, and we're going to address what you said. Especially when new evidence come. It's new evidence out, Nancy Grace. It's a whole 196-page affidavit that's out. You can't make one video to talk about? No, you can't. Because you meant what you said in that video. In all those videos. Fox News. Let me go. Matter of fact, hold on. I gotta show you guys this. Fox News, family. Let me show you this. Hold on 1 second. Fox News. Look at all these videos of Karmelo Anthony. Look at Fox News page. I just want to show y'all guys how loud and vocal these people was during this trial. This is Fox News making over 100 videos pushing false narratives about him. And then bring none of the people on, then bring Pat Fallon back on to talk about that affidavit. These people is lying. It was zero racism involved. Zero racism involved. All these news networks made all these videos of Karmelo Anthony, but they haven't talked about the affidavit that dropped. Hold on a second. That don't move me, family. Nancy Grace coming out with that video don't move the needle for me. She's an evil, demonic devil. I don't give a fuck about her. I wish the worst for Nancy Grace. I wish the worst for Megyn Kelly. As loud as y'all was about Karmelo Anthony, and y'all just gonna act like that this affidavit don't exist? And we supposed to be like, yeah, Megyn Kelly saying something about Nolan Wells. Bitch, we don't need you to say nothing about Nolan Wells. We got this. We don't need you. We need you to say something about Karmelo Anthony. Yeah, was those twins arrested for racist graffiti, Nancy Grace? Can you bring Jeff Metcalf back on your platform? Megyn Kelly, can you bring Jeff Metcalf back on into your platform? Fox News, Will Kane, can you interview Jeff Metcalf again? Hey, Pochop, Officer Tatum, can y'all interview Jeff Metcalf again and y'all talk about this affidavit that was released and y'all can discuss these victims and these police reports and body cam footage of these so-called witnesses stating that they are victims of these boys' violent and bullying behavior? Can y'all bring him back to the forefront? Because I know he's not going to do another interview. If he do another interview, it's going to be by a Sambo that's not going to ask him the real questions. So can y'all just go over the affidavit? I appreciate you guys. Because I know Jeff Metcalf is going into hiding. He just uploaded his third GoFundMe. Megyn was Megyn want to come out in the forefront when the email got released. Then when his affidavit dropped, she's nowhere to be found. Megyn, Austin mother, can you go back on TikTok Live and defend your son with these witness statements on the affidavit? Because you was willing to defend Austin when the email was released. I need you to have that same energy for this affidavit. I'm not letting y'all get away with this. Absolutely not. Fuck y'all. Y'all got me. You think Nancy Grace coming out and make, I don't believe this. I don't believe that. You forgot, ma'am? You forgot what you said about our brother Karmelo Anthony? Y'all think y'all finna get away with what y'all said. And this is how you know it's not about the truth with Megyn Kelly, because Megyn Kelly stated in his entire live stream, family, that she's about facts. She's about truth. Karmelo Anthony's parents are liars. They are this, they are that. But now that she has facts out here, court documents, she can't make one video, but she made about 13 videos, 15 videos of Karmelo Anthony. These are y'all white friends. I need Nancy Grace to be as loud as she was about Karmelo Anthony with this affidavit. I don't care about your Nolan Wells case. I don't care about you talking about Nolan Wells. We got this. The family over here doing the work. Black media doing the work. Black content creators are doing the work. We don't need your voice on nothing. You think you trying to say, see, you can't fool me. You might can fool a couple black people that's excited that you talking about this. But you can't fool me, Nancy Grace, with this. Let me talk about Nolan Wells because I know black people probably waiting on me to say something about Karmelo Anthony. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I'm still waiting. You gonna make me do another video on you. What I gotta do, smoke you out? Salute to the family, salute to the team. No, family, I'm pissed off about this. I can't let this slide. I can't let them get away with this. Fox News was vocal about Karmelo Anthony. They brought on congressmen, politicians, all these people to degrade Karmelo, call him a unaliver countless of times, trying to praise the Metcalf twins to be these God-fearing, good young white boys. But comes to find out, the family was right. We was right. We knew they was bullies. But they didn't want to believe us until the affidavit dropped and it proved it. The teachers, their football teammates, students, cheerleaders, these boys were so out of control, the cheerleader team didn't even want to cheer for them anymore. She said to keep her name anonymous out of fear of retaliation from these boys. And I'm supposed to ignore this? I'm supposed to act like that these people didn't say the shit that they said about Karmelo? I'm going to do two things at once. I'm going to keep talking about Nolan Wells, but I'm not going to let y'all get away with what y'all did to Karmelo Anthony. The way they railroaded their young man and lied on him. Lied. And act like that his supporter was lying. They making this about race. They trying to make this about race. Jeff Metcalf come out here calling people the N-word, talking about slavery. The Metcalf twins arrested for racist graffiti. The evidence, the proof is in the pudding. But you know why they not gonna come out here and retract their statements, family? Because they don't want us to be right. They don't want to prove us right. They don't want us to be right. They don't want to be like, damn, black folks was right, bro. They said that the motherfuckers was bullies. They said that they was animals. They said that they was predators, violent individuals. They said that Jeff Metcalf was a deadbeat father. They said that he failed them as a father. He wasn't in their lives. The black people said that. But we gaslighted them. We lied on them. We called them radical. We called them race baiters. We called them race hustlers. The same shit they doing with this Nolan Wells trial. The same thing they doing with this trial. They calling us race hustlers. They saying that we race baiting. We making this about race. Let's not make the Karmelo Anthony case about race. Damn, the boys go to jail for racist graffiti? Damn, Jeff Metcalf out here calling motherfuckers the N-word? Let's not make this about race. But what y'all not going to do is gaslight me. That ain't going to work on me. You might gaslight some other black folks, but you ain't gaslighting me. I can read through the bullshit. Me and the family, we too intelligent for this shit. We know that the Nolan Will case is about race. Not only is the case about race, Watt, little brother, come out and call black people worthless. And in the same breath said, hey, Nolan he literally lived with us. He was over our house so much for the past 3 years. He basically lived with us. But yeah, black people are worthless. Let's not make this about race. Let's not make this about race. Who y'all think y'all fooling? Y'all think we dumb? Keep playing with us like we dumb then. Exactly, Monica. They want us to look stupid like them, but that's not going to happen. Facts, Monica. That's exactly what they want. They want us to look stupid. They want us to bend the knee to them. They think they gonna silence us because they throwing out this race. Stop making this about race. Y'all race baiting. Okay, we race baiting. So, y'all the race hustlers. Okay, so we still gonna make this about race. We still gonna keep the attention on those 3 white boys that didn't show up to the funeral. But all y'all out here on these platforms talking about these his childhood friends. Family, how would y'all feel if your childhood friend that you grew up with, that you was last seen with, didn't show up to your funeral? They ain't even say rest in peace to you. But these are your childhood friends. Everybody's trying to prop these white boys up. Yup, Charleston White has been quiet too. Yup, sure have. All of them, Yolanda, all of them has been quiet. But we got to wake them up, Yolanda. We got to wake them up, though. That's all it is. They just need a little wake-up call. I seen Officer Tatum make a video about having evidence, and I also seen Officer Tatum posted today that he did an interview with the white boys. Officer Tatum stated, matter of fact, can we, before I get up out of here, every time I'm about to get up out of here, I be about to go do something else. Hold on, I just got to show y'all this before we go. Officer Tatum made a post today. Let's go to his post. Officer Tatum made a post today, and he stated, what they are doing to Nolan Wells' friends is wrong. And I interviewed them to tell their side of the story. So the boys that's friends of Nolan Wells interviewed with Officer Tatum, but they didn't want to speak to the public. They interviewed with Officer Tatum, these are his words, but didn't speak to the family. They interviewed with Officer Tatum, but didn't want to speak at the funeral. And I commented under this post and said, those white boys are demons and deserve to be in jail. They want to interview with your clown ass, but won't speak publicly about their so-called friend whose funeral they didn't attend. And you got to really pay attention to how people move when they run with this narrative that they not racist. The same thing that Sean Kent did. Y'all remember Sean Kent, attorney Sean Kent, the attorney of Rick Chow? He did 2 public interviews after the verdict. Mr. Potato Head, Anton Daniels, and Officer Tatum. That speaks about his character. Attorney Sean Kent did 2 interviews after the Rick Chow verdict, Anton, Mr. Potato Head, Officer Tatum, Officer Tater Tot. Because he didn't want to go around and continue to do these platforms and get called out for what he did in that trial. He went straight to the Sambo class. The same thing that these white boys doing. You know why? Because they see Officer Tatum as a safe space. Because Officer Tatum is not going to push them. If this is true that he interviewed them, this lets us know that this has everything to do with race. This has everything to do with race. Why would y'all sit down with this clown, but not sit with the mother? You would do an interview with Officer Tatum, but you won't do an interview with the local news out there. You won't speak to the public. You won't protest. You deleted your social media. You won't go to the funeral and speak on behalf of your childhood friend, but you're going to do an interview, sit down with Officer Tatum? Officer Tatum, what they are doing to Nolan friends is wrong. And I interviewed them to tell them their side of the story. Stay tuned. What is wrong that we are doing to them? What we doing? Saying that they had something to do with it? Wow. Hey, Heavily, I saw that. I'm going to review that on tomorrow's live stream. Yeah, he fucked up when he said that, Heavily. I am going to, y'all stay tuned to tomorrow's show. See, they playing with the wrong ones, family. They playing with the wrong ones. Yeah, the Coast Guard said that it was an incident. He said that on Nancy Grace video. I saw it. I'm going to address that. But I have to make sure that I call out these clowns on Karmelo Anthony. But Officer Tatum. But family, I want you to pay attention to all the people that's telling us not to make this about race. If these boys are not racist, why would they sit down with somebody that holds an anti-black stance about their black friend? Why would y'all sit down with Officer Tatum? Because they look at Officer Tatum as the good ones. They look at Officer Tatum as a safe space. He's not going to challenge them. Y'all talk to Officer Tatum and not the family. These are your black friends, ladies and gentlemen. These are your black friends. Sit down with Officer Tatum and not address the public. Delete your social media. The judge, delete her social media. She put out on her statement, hey, I grew up with Christina. We went to high school together. Wasn't at the funeral. Hey, you guys are treating those boys wrong. They ain't doing nothing wrong. The way y'all treat them is wrong. They grew up with Nolan. Didn't go to his funeral. Sitting down with Officer Tatum? Sitting down with Officer Tatum is diabolical, family. But salute to the family, salute to the team. We ain't done, family. We working. We working. Thank you guys for joining me on this evening. I appreciate you guys. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of people to expose. Thank you so much, Bullock. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for showing up on this evening, joining me on this broadcast, because y'all voices are important. We have work to do, family. We have some serious work to do. And these people think that they are going to continue to gaslight us, and we supposed to go hide in the corner because y'all calling us race baiters, race hustlers. We don't give a damn about none of that. We are the elite class. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this evening. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, they want his friends, family. They want his friends. We know that. We know that, but they have to push that narrative that they his friends and we need to stop calling them out. No, we're not going to stop.